What is going on, everybody? I am your host, Slackers, bringing you another edition of Does This Character Have a Chance? So pretty much think of it something like a Rate Their Chances sort of series. I did this last summer, had a blast with this. So how does it work? Basically, I will take my time and kind of go over one specific character for today's episode. And as you can see on screen, today's character of choice is Leon Kennedy from the Resident Evil series. So I'll go over a few pros and cons and some facts for you to kind of give you an insight to maybe why this character might make sense for the whole thing. So we'll end up seeing what happens. And so remember, down in the comments, leave your thoughts and opinions and your overall percentage chance that you think this character might have to be in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as a DLC character. So I guess that's out of the way. You kind of know how this works now. So yeah, we're going to go over, what did I just say? We're going to go over, pros and cons and that sort of stuff. I'll go over moveset, that sort of stuff. And that's pretty much the gist of how this whole thing works. So I say maybe we get right into it. And I think we'll discuss first up his appearance for in Resident Evil. So first of all, Leon is one of the main characters in the Resident Evil series, having numerous appearances throughout the series history. Along with Leon, though, other series favorites do include Chris, Jill, Claire, Wesker, just to name a few that Leon, if Resident Evil were to be getting a rep in Smash Bros., I guess those could be other candidates that could be, competing with Leon in this case. So, yeah, he's got some competition in his own series, but I think because Leon originally, Resident Evil 4 specifically, was a GameCube exclusive, and I'm going to actually talk about that in just a second, but Leon has some really good history with Nintendo, and with that being said, I think it kind of, gives him a pretty good chance, and I think just with the way that Nintendo's going with their DLC, after we've seen Joker, and they kind of flat out said that, he's got a gun and a knife, referring to Joker for his moveset in this case. I think that really honestly kind of opens up, sort of mature characters, games that are, might be rated M for mature and that sort of stuff. So, I think you could get a lot weirder, and I think Leon definitely kind of fits that. So, again, Leon definitely, from the Resident Evil series, the GameCube game is the one we're going to kind of focus on the most, because that's where he has a lot of history with Nintendo after all. So, Leon was the star of Resident Evil 4, considered by many to be one of the greatest games of all time. I personally would agree with that, but, that's just my opinion. But the game actually did start as an exclusive on the Nintendo GameCube of all consoles, and it actually sold pretty decently. 1.6 million copies when it started as an exclusive on the GameCube, and the GameCube was far behind, Xbox and PlayStation for that generation. It was, sales numbers wise. So, 1.6 million for a Resident Evil game that kind of shifted how the game traditionally worked and kind of went with a new route. Overall, considered a pretty big success, and, Leon being the main character of that, a lot of people started to kind of really fall in love. Of course, it wasn't his first appearance in a Resident Evil game. I believe what Resident Evil 2 was. So, but the fact that, Resident Evil 4 did start as an exclusive on the GameCube, that doesn't necessarily mean that it wasn't made for a couple other consoles. And as you can see on screen, it was also not just the GameCube, but PlayStation 2. It was on the Xbox 360. It was on the PlayStation 3, Nintendo Wii. It's on the Xbox One, the PlayStation 4. Fun little fact, if anyone cares, I've personally owned every single one of these copies except for the PlayStation 2. Never had a PlayStation 2, but I've owned the GameCube. I still have my GameCube one, actually. Then I had it on the arcade for the Xbox. Okay, you guys don't care about that, but I personally owned all of these. So, yes, it has been all over different sorts of platforms and generations of gaming. And there is a rumor floating around where Capcom will be making a Resident Evil 4 port for the Nintendo Switch as well. And if that were to happen, I wouldn't be surprised at all, because it's already been... made on every device ever, and probably a few toasters, and my shoes can probably play it at some point. It's a very popular game. It gets remade all the time, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that get remade for the Switch sometime down the line. So let's kind of go over Leon and potentially how his movesets would work, or how his moveset would work. So Leon has quite a bit of unique sort of gameplay aspects and mechanics, and just things you could use for a moveset. Now a lot of people are going to think, it's Resident Evil, you're just going to use guns and that's pretty much it. Well, not necessarily. Taking specifically from Resident Evil 4 in this case, because that's where he has most of his history with Nintendo, moveset wise, Leon does have quite a bit of options in terms of weapons. Of course, he's got the you could get your regular handgun. You could potentially have his hand cannon. They have this thing called the Mind Dart. It's kind of, it's like you shoot it out and it kind of, sticks into an opponent. After a few seconds, it detonates and explodes. So that'd be kind of unique. It's got the PRL, the Plaga Removal Laser, what he's holding right here in his hand. So there's, and not just that for weapons, but in Resident Evil 4, he does all sorts of little quick animations. He's got suplexes, he's got roundhouse kicks, sliding kicks, plus not just weapon, or not just guns, but you could also use some of the grenades in the game, the hand grenade, the incendiary grenade, and the flash grenades. So there's a lot of different things you can do for this moveset, and I know a lot of people are gonna be like, Resident Evil shooting, but now if you look into the character a bit, you can find quite a bit of unique stuff you can throw in. So suplex, maybe it's maybe an or maybe an up smash, something like that. Maybe a dash attack would be the sliding kick. Roundhouse kick, maybe that'd be kind of like a punch and then roundhouse kick. A quick little combo sort of attack, something like that. So he's got a lot of cool things you can do for a moveset. So, well, with that out of the way, you always got to talk about the big three when you talk about characters. And in this case, the big three, the categories in this case that I'm referring to is, you can see moveset, relevancy, and popularity. Moveset, I just went over. I believe you can make a very strong case for Leon or anybody in Resident Evil, honestly, to have a moveset that can still work in Smash Bros. I mean, like I said, Joker earlier, they flat out said, yeah, he's got a gun and a knife. So, I mean, you could still get around the realistic bullets if you want. I don't know. Does Joker technically have realistic bullets in his gun? I don't think so. But, you can still make the moveset work. So, moveset check. Relevancy, he was just in the Resident Evil 2 remake, after all, which came out in January and sold very well, which led to Capcom saying, all right, you guys want other remakes or remastered of older Resident Evil games, just let us know. And they're happy to make it. So, yeah, Leon being pretty much the face, or one of the two main characters of that game. He's still relevant. He's always in Resident Evil. I think he's always in the even-numbered Resident Evil games. So, and then popular, he's definitely one of the most popular characters from the Resident Evil series, and just in terms of gaming overall. Now, we do got to go over a negative, and I think this is kind of a sticking point in a way. So a negative, could be that Capcom didn't release Resident Evil 7. Yes, I know Leon was not in Resident Evil 7, but Capcom didn't release RE7 or the RE2 remake for the Switch. So, in terms of that, Nintendo might be looking at it and kind of saying, hey, you know what? We didn't get these big-time third-party franchises or third-party games on our system. So do we really want to go ahead and promote one of these characters? I think in a way, you could look at it both ways, Nintendo. Business-wise, they want to be able to tie in maybe an announcement that they have, and I don't know, I just, announcement-wise, all right, we have Resident Evil 2 remake coming, or we have Resident Evil 4 porting over so they can tie in Leon. So, I mean, they got that. They could go that way if Leon were to get in as a playable character, but at the same time, if there's no plans for any big Resident Evil games coming to the Switch, it might not happen. So Nintendo as a business might just look at it and be like, you know what, I don't think it's going to happen. So moving on to what I believe. I hate to do this, when I kind of rate characters, but just after the way we've seen Smash and Nintendo, the way they kind of portrayed Joker in Smash, and kind of Reggie, going back to the Game Awards, Reggie did that interview where he said, just you're not gonna expect what we're gonna bring for DLC. So kind of think outside the box, and maybe a bit more mature games, mature characters such as Leon. Maybe that could be the route that they're going. But I don't know. I like I said, I hate doing this, but I'm gonna give him a 50% chance. It's kind of like, all right, does Nintendo have this idea in mind? Let's go for mature sort of characters, and if so, then Leon's pretty good. Or are they going to be like, all right, we got one sort of mature character with Joker. Maybe they have a different one in mind that they want to go with from a different series, maybe like a Mortal Kombat, because that is coming to the Switch after all. So maybe a Scorpion or Sub-Zero. But yeah, with that being said, like I said, I give him 50%. So I think he's got a pretty decent chance overall. We just gotta wait to see what the next character is that gets revealed in the Fighter Pass. Probably have to wait till E3? Yeah, so we gotta wait till E3. Probably actually might get 2 reveals, but that's a different topic. Anyway, I give him 50%. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you think Leon has a chance, or do you think maybe somebody else from Resident Evil might have a better chance? I don't know. Let me know. I just feel Leon, if Resident Evil were to get a rep in Smash, I believe Leon fits the best just because of his his history with Nintendo, and the being the exclusive for the GameCube, well, for a little while at least. But yeah, I give him 50%. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Rate your chances, rate Leon. So with that being said, I've been your host Slackers. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully we'll catch you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.